I want to talk about the state of Golem currently in Clash Royale. The new season just started. I did not end up getting top 1000. I dropped about 500 medals since my video a couple days ago. It's really unfortunate that I wasn't able to get it. There were a couple players who were able to get there with Golem, but with my style of Golem deck, I just wasn't able to do it. Faced a lot of Pekka, and unfortunately, I am going to be playing Pekka in today's video, just talking about the state of Golem and just overall what I think Clash Royale needs to do. We're close to Master 2. I'm going to be pushing on stream, so make sure you guys check out my TikTok and Twitch. I'll also be live on YouTube tonight, pushing all the way up to around League 9. I know I'm able to get League 9 a couple days into the season, so that's going to be my goal. And, hopefully we get Ultimate Champion as well. It looks like someone's already made it there. Why are there two of them? Did he actually make it there already? I guess so. I guess someone is already an Ultimate Champion, which is kind of crazy. So we'll be catching up to him. And, yeah, we'll just hop right into a game using this pretty popular Pekka Bridge Spam deck. I've been having a lot of success playing Pekka, so if you guys are Golem players who are looking for another deck to use that actually works in the meta consistently, go with this Pekka deck right here with the Cannoneer Tower Troop. So, I just want to first off by saying thank you to everybody who supported me and thought that I could, get top 1000. And the reason why I wanted to was I wanted to participate in the CRL Open Qualifier and try to just participate in the tournament, because ultimately my goal is to compete. I want to be a professional Clash Royale player, and I've beaten a lot of pros. I know I'm capable of doing it. It's just I have to use the right decks to do it. I don't really play into the meta. I like to play Golem decks. I don't really like to play anything other than Golem. And although I'm a good player, I kind of am limiting myself from winning more games by doing this. So I think this next year I'm going to be, broadening, is that a word, broadening? Expanding my horizons, I guess, when it comes to the different types of decks that I use. Because I am limiting myself. I know I could be doing a lot better with other decks. And, I'm just hindering myself by doing that. So, this year, I'm going to be expanding the different decks that I play. And if you guys only like to play Golem just like me, I highly recommend to try out other decks that are meta if Golem isn't working. When I play Golem, I face Pekka like 4 times in a row. The games are not easy. I can beat Pekka. It's not impossible, but your chances of beating it are just extremely low if you're doing it on a consistent basis, which I stream, so I play this game a lot, and I think this guy just quit. But anyways, yeah, Golem is really hard to push in the meta, so like Pekka is probably the closest thing to Golem. And as a Golem player, I don't like Pekka, but I kind of have to get over those little grudges I have against other decks, try them out, and just get better. Because if I want to get to CRL, I'm going to have to play more than just Golem. Again, thank you to everybody who supported me through last season, saying that I could get top 1000. If maybe I played Pekka the entire season, I probably could have. That's what I did the previous season, got 1,300 last season with Pekka. And I stopped playing it because I thought Golem was back. I thought with the giant nerf and everything that it would seriously help Golem, which it did. I was still playing pretty well with it, better than the previous season. But I would have done a lot better if I just used Pekka. And Pekka is just one of the strongest decks in the entire game. Counters a lot of the meta. And it's just really good. So I highly recommend any other Golem players, if you guys are trying to find a deck that works in the meta that's similar to it, Pekka is the way to go. And it kind of hurts me saying that because as a Golem player, we all don't like Pekka because it hard counters Golem. Not that you can't beat Pekka. I've beaten Pekka plenty of times without it, but if your opponent plays right, it's almost impossible to kind of like break through unless they make mistakes. Um, so yeah, I highly recommend playing this deck. I had a lot of success with it last night. I tilted all the way down to 2,000 medals, and I went on a hot streak, almost pushing around 400 medals within a couple hours with this deck. So yeah, I don't know what Clash is going to do with Golem in the future. I don't know if they're ever going to consider buffing it. I don't know if they're going to consider nerfing RG or Pekka, or I don't know. I really don't know. Because a lot of the cards that they're coming out with counter Golem, like Demolisher counters Golem. You know, Demolisher Poison Tesla, it can destroy pretty much any push that you got going with Golem. Even split lane pushes, they can handle them pretty well. So yeah, it's just, it's an interesting time to be a Golem main. And if I want to compete in CRL next year, and even if I wanted to do this year, I don't think I would have went far even if I did get there. It's just based on the fact that I don't play any other decks. I'm not well versed in a lot of decks, and you need to be well versed in a lot of different decks if you want to compete, because you can't just play one deck and expect to just win a lot. It's just unrealistic, and I think, you know, my mindset was that I could just willy-nilly go into it without doing it, but truth is, you really can't, and, you know, part of me just really wanted Golem to work extremely bad last season. And it does work for some people. There's another Golem YouTuber, shout out to YouTube Spectre, that's his name, on Clash. Check out his channel. He got there with the E-Barb deck, so pretty happy for him. And wonder if he's going to be competing in CRL or not. I know a lot of people get there and they don't compete, so we'll see what he chooses to do. But yeah, I know it's not impossible, but for a lot of Golem players like me, and I've heard a lot of complaints from, you know, my viewers too, coming into stream telling me that Golem is just not easy to play and they keep getting countered every single game, and they just think it's impossible to play. So the goal for this season and the next season going forward, I'm going to be trying to try out different decks and broaden my horizons when it comes to this game, because I feel like I am limiting myself when it comes to only playing Golem. I know I could be doing a lot better if I was playing Pekka this season. That's just the truth. And maybe you guys could also be playing better if you chose other decks other than Golem. And it's just the sad reality of Golem players right now. So yeah, it's kind of sad that, you know, this game doesn't support other decks like Golem to potentially be the best in the world. But I guess we just have to accept the reality at the moment and just, you know, get better at the game overall. Because even the best players in their own respects with like different types of decks, they also play other decks, and, you know, if I want to compete, if you want to compete, that's just what's got to happen. So we're going to make it happen this year. Next year is going to be totally different than this year. I will get a top 1,000 finish, whether it's if CRL is a thing or not. And honestly, this is probably the best season to do that, since everybody who is in CRL, who has participated, they're no longer going to be able to, because next season there's no qualifiers. So we are going to see how it pans out. But I genuinely think this upcoming season will probably be a little easier than the ones for the past couple months. Past couple months have been very tough. The competition is just insane. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the amount of medals that are required to get to top 1,000 increased. Last season, to get top 1,000, you needed like 2,300 medals, which is what I... Actually, it was like 24, 2,500 medals, around that range to get top 1,000. It was nowhere near this season. You had to get like 3,000 to do that this season, which is a huge jump from season to season. So it'll be very interesting to see what this season requirements will be. But I think this is probably going to be one of the best decks to do that. Now I want to hear from you guys on how your season went, if you tried using Golem only the entire season, and what you think Supercell needs to do to kind of balance the game out. I feel like they are trying to do a good job of balancing out the game, and I feel like they're being, a little slow with the balance changes and stuff. I feel like they could do a lot more, but I think they're trying their best. Even though I'm kind of upset with the fact that Golem is just, it's kind of dead. Unless you're a really, really good player, it's really hard. It's really hard to be consistently good with Golem. And I don't know if it's going to be easier or harder with these balance changes coming out in a day or not. But I will keep you guys updated. I will be, doing my best to continue making content and informing you guys on best Golem decks and everything. So make sure you guys, still stick around for that, even though I'm going to be trying out different decks. But I hope you guys can respect me trying different decks, making videos on decks that aren't Golem. I still think that I could do just as well with other decks if I put in the time to practice them, learn them. So, yeah, I will be streaming tonight. Make sure you guys come out on TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, whatever platform you prefer. I'm going to start streaming on all three. I know I've been saying I'm going to, and I haven't. I've just been really focused on trying to push to top 1,000. But now that that's over, I don't have an excuse, and now things are a little bit more relaxed since, there's not as much pressure anymore on me to get a top finish with Golem. But yeah, I will be pushing to Ultimate Champion. We'll probably get League 9 today if we don't get Ultimate Champion, but we are going to push. Thank you guys for watching. Peace out.